The dark sky cracked with thunder, and another flash of lightning hit the looming buildings along the walk-up from the waterfront pier. The night air smelled of Spanish food cooking in the cafes and bars on the Carrière de Saint-Paul. Despite the heavy rain, windows and doors were open, and the sounds of hearty revelry echoed among the rumble in the sky above. I held my wife Sarah's hand tightly in my own, and an umbrella in the other as we rushed forward to find refuge and a bite to eat. We were ending our trip to Europe to promote the release of my latest Mathew Coulter novel, with a cruise along the Mediterranean coast of France and Spain. The White Star Line's grand ship, the Britannic, had been forced ashore in Barcelona earlier in the day from high winds and heavy seas from a storm that blew in off the continent. The crew of the Britannic had strongly cautioned us about leaving the ship, as the city was still besieged by the closing days of the Spanish Civil War, but Sarah had been sick for 2 days from the storm rocking the boat, and she insisted she needed some time on land to steady herself. Lights ahead shone through the half-curtained windows. The sign above the door read, "Bar Marcella," and we ducked in quickly out of the rain. The place was nearly full. All the seats along the ornate bar on the far wall were taken. As we took off our wet coats, I saw a single table at the back with 4 chairs and led my wife through the crowd. No one paid us much notice, and we took our seats, hanging our wet clothes on a coat stand beside the table. A young woman came up, looking quite flustered and tired. "Hola, ¿qué quieres beber?" "Beer and wine?" I asked. "Absinthe," she said impatiently. I shook my head, knowing we didn't need the numbing effects of the strong liqueur, particularly Sarah, who had worked hard over the years to overcome her issues with drug and alcohol. "Vino blanco," I said, motioning for one. "Tea for my wife and a menu?" I continued, not knowing the words in Spanish. The woman rushed away without acknowledging our order. I turned to Sarah. "Are you feeling any better?" She took a deep breath and wiped strands of wet hair away from her face. "I still feel like the ground is moving under me. I can't believe we still have the crossing to Miami to come." "The captain said a break in the weather is coming soon." Sarah and I had been married a little over 10 years. We lived in New York and, during parts of the year, in our old beach house in Grayton Beach along the northern Gulf Coast of Florida, where we had first met in 1925. Sarah's mother, Lila, had run a small hotel there in the village until her death that year in the wake of a killer hurricane that swept through the area.